Alright, ladies and gents, let's get this show on the road. We got homework 8. It's solution time. Alright, number 1. This time I hope is different than the previous two, and I think it is. We're going to start out the same way as we have been by getting rid of these parentheses, and you use that with distribution. Here I have 1 minus and then this stuff in parentheses. If you don't see a number out front here, that number, there is a number there, and that number's 1. So really, there's like an invisible 1 right there. So we're going to take -1 and times it by everything inside of the parentheses. The 1 out front stays. And then you got minus -1 times 2. Is that -2 there? And then -1 times 3 makes it positive 3x. Right side, we got 4 times 5, which gives you 20, and 4 times 6, which gives you 24. Yeah, let me multiply in my head real quick. All right, and then the subtract 7 is still there. Okay, left and right side, you can simplify. You can combine like terms, combine those guys together on the right side to get you 13, because 20 minus 7 is 13. On the left you got 1 minus 2, which gets you -1, and then the 3x has not been touched yet. Okay, at this point I need to make a decision. Which side do I want my variable on? I'm going to pick the left side. Okay, and so I need to move the variable from the right by subtracting 24x from both sides. Remember, what you do to one side, you do to the other. And now on the left side, we got -21x. On the right side, we've only got that 13 left, because the 24's went away. We got to get rid of the -1, so add 1 to both sides. And we're going to go left here to try and fit this all in one screen. We got -21x, and on the right side, we got 14. All you have to do now is divide by the -21. Divide by -21, and you got x equals -14 over 21. If you notice, 14 and 21 are both divisible by 7. So if you want to reduce it, you can, to make it 2 over 3. Because 14 divided by 7 is 2, and 21 divided by 7 is 3. So now we got our answer of x is equal to -2/3. Number 2, here on this one, we have an OR compound inequality. Okay, when you have compound inequalities, you're going to solve 2 separate inequalities separately, and then you'll combine their answers at the end. Here on the left side, I am choosing, since I have just a variable on the left, I'm going to choose to have my variables on the left. But I need to get rid of the 3x on the right side to have just variables on the left and no variables on the right. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. Left side, I now have -2x, and on the right side I got -8. Here I need to still get x by itself. I wish I could draw 8 well, but it's not working out. 8. There you go. Okay, now I need to divide by that -2 in front of x, and when you do it to one side, you do it to the other. And when you divide by a negative, you need to switch which direction your symbol is going. So x is less than -8 divided by -2 gets you 4. Blam. Left side is x is less than 4. Right side now. I have only variables on my left to start with, so I'm going to choose my left side to be the side that has the variable. So I'm going to get rid of the variable on the right, so the right side doesn't have any variables anymore. Here, let me do a little squiggle to make sure these are separate. And left side, 2x minus 5x, we got -3x. The greater than symbol still there, 5x is gone, and we got -10. I need to divide by -3 from on both sides. That's going to flip my symbol in the middle, so x is going to be less than 10 over 3, because negative divided by negative is positive, and which will give me just 10 over 3. 10 over 3 is 9 is, just kidding, not 9. It's 3 1/3. 3 1/3, by the way. Just kind of keep that in mind. Because when we graph both of these on our number line, which we should probably put 0 over here because we're dealing with 4 and 3 1/3, and those are just positive numbers. We'll get our number line going like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you need to put a circle at 4. I'm not going to fill it in because no line, no fill. And I'm going to put a circle just a little bit above 3 because we want 3 1/3. And that one's also open because no line, no fill on this side. No line here. So I'm not going to fill it in. Okay. And you would shade both of these to the left because x is less than 4. Or, notice the or, x is less than 3 1/3. So I'm going to shade left because of the 4. I'm going to shade left because of 3 1/3. And since it's an or statement, my answer is anything that got shaded. So now when we write this in interval notation, it goes all the way to the left. It keeps going left and never stops. So our interval starts at -infinity. And it goes all the way up to 4. It goes past 3 1/3 and goes all the way up to 4. Because when we have an or statement, anything that got shaded is part of our answer. And I'm using a circular bracket because it's an open circle at 4. And that should be your answer, from -4 to infinity, and you can also see it on the graph. And that's the first two.